Can you understand the language, but you can't speak it fluently and spontaneously? Let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Kate. I'm a bookworm and a language enthusiast, and today I'm going to talk to you about the main language learning problem I struggle with every day, the reasons that lead to this problem, and how I'm going to solve it, or at least try to solve it. How many languages do you speak? To me, that's a really difficult question to answer. That's pretty strange, or I don't know, maybe it's quite normal for an introverted bookworm like me, but I can understand almost everything I want in several languages, and at the same time, my speaking skills are pretty low. As you might have already guessed by my accent, I'm Russian. I love foreign languages and cultures, and for many years I enjoy reading books, listening to audiobooks, watching movies in English, Spanish, Polish, also Ukrainian, Belarusian, and now I'm learning Armenian, but I still can't speak all these languages spontaneously and effortlessly. I cannot express myself, my thoughts, as clearly, as fluently as I want to without a prepared script. See this little one text on the screen. All thoughts are mine here, but when I try to speak without a script, I immediately run out of words, I forget grammar rules, and my pronunciation too is far from perfect. Some of my friends and my husband too even call me a silent polyglot sometimes, but I'd like to emphasize here, to make it clear, that I do not consider myself a polyglot. To me, polyglots are extraordinary, amazing people, language learners, who can speak several languages fluently and spontaneously, whereas I can only read. Strangely enough, I have almost the same problem with my native language, Russian. Public speaking was always a nightmare to me. I always feel so nervous when I have to give a speech in front of other people. I always write out the whole script to a speech and read it in front of an audience down to the point. Embarrassing moments and unforgettable too. So the question is why? I can speak the languages I'm learning, the languages I love so much, my favorite languages. I think there are at least 4 reasons here. First of all, I'm a late learner. I started learning English, my first foreign language, by myself when I was already 29 years old. Of course, I've had English classes before in my school and in my institute, but after finishing my institute, I couldn't understand spoken English or written English at all. All I could say in English was, my name is Kate, I live in Moscow. That was all. And when I at last have an opportunity to start learning languages by myself in my 30s, I mainly focused on reading comprehension, and I was not paying much attention on developing speaking skills at all. All I wanted was only read books in their original languages and nothing else. It's like a whole new world suddenly has opened up to me. I enjoy reading YA literature, fantasy, classics, non-fiction, you name it. But when I started traveling, I quickly realized that this method, this way of learning languages only by reading, it's far from perfect, and when it comes to developing an ability to speak. I understand native speakers perfectly well, but I cannot answer their questions or ask my own questions to them. I just can't find my words. I immediately forgot everything I've already learned, I've ever learned on you. And during my trips, I was silent most of the time. Also, as I said before, I'm a downright introvert. I'm very shy in real life, and it makes the case more complicated, I think. I can be very talkative to a couple of close friends or my husband, but in a group of strangers, I prefer to remain silent because I am afraid of saying something wrong and looking silly. There is also another reason, and a very unusual one. For the last several years, I live in the countryside in the real Russian village. Unfortunately, there aren't many people here today in the village. It's quite a desolate place, especially in winter months. And when my husband goes to the city of Moscow, where he works on from Monday to Friday, sometimes I don't see people at all for 2 or 3 days in a row. And slowly, gradually, but surely, the loneliness and lack of communication has changed me, changed the way I look at life, at my language learning goals and strategies. And now I realized that I don't want to be silent anymore. I really want to be able to communicate, to speak well, because speaking is one of the important skills in language learning too. Not only reading and listening like I did before, in fact, and I knew that all 4 skills are essential: reading, listening, also speaking and writing. And that is why I decided to create an YouTube channel and start making videos in general and in English in particular. And maybe in other languages I am learning to speak too. Hope the internet connection here in the village will be stable enough and allow me to upload my videos and to take online language classes with native speakers regularly from time to time. I really want to get out of my comfort zone, to overcome my fear of speaking in a foreign language and in my own language too, and to have an opportunity to talk with all of you guys about everything. I don't know whether it's only the lack of speaking practice or maybe there is something more behind it, but I'm going to do my best to discover and overcome all these problems. So, what do you think, guys? Are you like me, afraid of speaking in a foreign language you're learning? Or maybe you have the same fear of speaking in front of an audience in your own language? Or if you've already managed to overcome your fear, how did you do that? What's the best method that works for you? Please leave a comment below and let's talk about it. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.